Hello, Mark here with the first of 3 videos containing an email writing exercise. If you follow all 3 videos, I'm confident that you'll be able to write successful emails throughout your university career and beyond. However, if I spot any problems with the emails that you write as a result of these videos, I'll let you know via feedback videos in the future. So in this video, you'll notice that there's less of me giving you advice and more of you doing some writing. This is because writing, like many, if not all skills, is something you develop through practice. You learn by doing. Now, I'm recording this introduction to the video in September 2021, but what's coming next was recorded in December 2020, when my hair was shorter and I was in ever so slightly better shape. Which isn't saying much. If you have any comments or advice on my hairstyle or fitness regime, feel free to email me. We'll consider it extra practice and extra learning. So I'm going to start with a question for you. And I think this is a really important starting point for this part of the workshop. What is the most important thing to consider before you write to someone to ask for some information? Feel free to pause if you want to have a think or a chat with somebody else. Okay, so if I was answering that question, this is what I would say. I think it's really important to remember that university staff all have limited time and limitless demands on their time. So it's important to stop and think before sending an email to ask a question if the answer may be something that you can already find for yourself. Okay, so consider these questions. Do any of them need an email? Where can you look for answer to these questions first? I'm going to read the questions and then you can pause and think, discuss, and think about which ones need an email and which ones don't. So, these are all questions that I have received, by the way, in my teaching career at universities. When's the last day of term? What date is the exam? What referencing style should I use in my assignment? What's the maximum word length of my assignment? What time is our class tomorrow? Where's the nearest post office? Where can I buy the textbook? Are you still offering office hours online? You can pause now if you like some thinking time or talking time. Now, do any of these questions need an email? For me, maybe the answer is it depends, because it depends on whether or not this information has already been communicated to you somehow. And actually, if your studies have begun, then most of the information that you could ask here, if it's for a member of academic staff at university, the information is probably already available to you, either online via Canvas or on the university website in terms of like the last day of term. If you Google the name of the university and your question, you'll find the answer online. There may be a point during the year when the exam dates haven't been published yet and you're a little bit concerned about some future plans that you need to make. So there are times when that might be a reasonable question to ask. But the majority of these questions, I think first you can look online, you can ask classmates. There are very few questions here that really require you to send an email. So actually, in this part 2 of this email writing workshop, one of the things to take away is that not everything needs an email. But okay, sometimes you do need to send an email to ask a question. You can't, if you've already looked online, you've looked in your handbook, you've asked classmates and nobody knows the answer, then it's time to send an email. So I've got a task for you. Okay, now your task is quite simple. You need to write a short email to ask if there is a live online version of this workshop and how you can book a place on it. So I haven't given you that information. It's not available online, so you do need to ask that question. So you're going to send a message to me. So write the email to me, Mark Holloway, using the address aessd@hearts.ac.uk. Whatever you choose to write in your subject line, please could you add like square brackets and the letters WT1, that's writing task 1, in square brackets. If you put that at the end of the subject line, it will help me to manage my inbox, because we're going to have thousands of students taking this workshop, and I won't be able to read all of them. Okay, before you press send, remember what you learned about email etiquette from the first video in this series of workshops. And if you can't remember, then go back and look at that before you press send. So I want you to think about that basic email etiquette section as a checklist and a guide for what you should and shouldn't do. Okay. But when you are ready to send the email, and at some point in the future, I'm going to receive it. So please pause the video now so that you can go off and write your email and send it to me. Okay, now let's continue. And as you have just completed a piece of writing, I think it's good for you to receive some feedback. Now, I can't give everybody feedback on the email that they send me. Okay. However, there are still various ways that you can get feedback. Firstly, and very importantly, you can check your work yourself. So reflecting on your own performance in any task is a key way to learn and to develop, and there's no exception here. So look back at the email you wrote and ask yourself the following questions. Okay. Did you use your Hertfordshire email address? Did you provide a clear subject that says what the email is about? Did you address me appropriately by starting Dear Mark? Did you check your spelling, punctuation and grammar before you sent the email? Did you keep your message concise? Count the number of words. For a simple request like this, I would expect the main message to contain under 60 words. And finally, did you sign off appropriately with an ending like best wishes, kind regards, as we saw earlier? Okay. So you've already seen those questions before. You can apply them to your own writing. You can give yourself feedback. But when I have received some good examples of your emails, I'll record another video to share them with the permission of the writers. So whatever happened with your writing task, you will be able to see some model emails to compare with your own. And hopefully you will be keen to prove yourself as an email champion who gets their writing featured in teaching videos because it's exemplary. Let that be you. Yeah. If you feel, however, you would benefit from somebody else checking your work for you, you could consider exchanging emails with a friend and asking them to answer these questions about your writing and offering to do the same for them. Sometimes it's easier to analyse someone else's work than your own. So that's our video on asking for information. In our next video, we'll be providing information. As always, you can find more on the CAE StudyNet site, go.hearts.ac.uk/academic-English, as well as our social media accounts and on YouTube. So I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.